Do you want me to...
Bien, dernier test de son. Est-ce que c'est bon le Flore pour toi? Parfait. Est-ce qu'il est possible, s'il vous plaît, de tester la traduction française? Donc la traduction française, est-ce que tu as bien la traduction française? Parfait. Ok, ok, c'est bon. Et on va faire un dernier test, donc on y est sur la traduction anglaise.
Testing
English translation is okay for everyone.
For Arsenal
English
press
translation,
conference
ok.
ahead of Paris game.
Ok, parfait.
Hi everyone, thanks for coming. We'll kick off with you, Alex.
Hey, mate.
How do you come into this game? How do you approach it? Coming behind after the first leg and then the frustration of losing at the weekend?
Yeah, I think nothing changes, to be honest with you. It's a semi-final. It's 90 minutes away from a final. I think that tells you everything you need to know. I think the manager spoke to us. Us as a group of players know what we can achieve tomorrow night, and it's a game of football, you know. We can go out there and we can achieve something great for this club, and that's what we want to do. You know, we obviously know we're 1-0 down, but we have full belief, full positivity that we're going to go out there and win tomorrow night.
There's always been lots of talk about your position as a number 6 and number 8, but do you feel in the more advanced role recently you've kind of gone to another level in your game?
Yeah, I've been really enjoying it. I think this season I've played the majority of games at number 8. Obviously playing with Thomas, it's allowed me to be, you know, that more box-to-box role. And I thoroughly enjoyed it, you know. It gives me a bit more freedom to roam around the pitch, get in the box, also do my defensive duties as well. So, yeah, I'm quite lucky. Obviously, Thomas is there. That he sits in front of the back four and he lets me roam up and down. But, yeah, I'm really enjoying that position at the minute.
John?
Hello, Declan. I was just going to ask you, I think you were caught on TV cameras in the tunnel before the first game. If we don't have the ball, we die. Basically, I just wondered what you
Can I just put that? I actually didn't. I don't think I said that. I think it was something like I don't know how that come about. I read that after the game and I was like, I'm not sure I said that. And then obviously a big thing got made about it. I think I was just talking about in general. Like, we obviously know PSG are a really good team with the ball, and sometimes you are going to suffer. But it's about, you know, how you defend, how you stay compact, and you know how you can hurt them when you regain the ball. So yeah, I think that story got spun a little bit, but yeah, that's what I was saying.
Was that one of the hardest nights that you think you and also the team? I mean, I think PSG are probably the best team I've seen in Europe this season. So they've been an outstanding team, aren't they? Was that a really difficult night for the team, and how do you feel in the end you came through it?
No, not really. I think the first 15 minutes, I think the early goal probably shocked us a little bit. And it took us probably 15, 20 minutes to get a foothold in the game. But once we started keeping the ball a little bit and started to create some chances, and obviously Donnarumma made some amazing saves, we had full belief. And then second half, obviously there was a little blip, probably 10 minutes to go, where they hit the crossbar, and we'll put one wide. But we had some massive chances as well. So I think tomorrow night is going to be a really good game. And like I said, we're really positive and we have full belief we can come here and do something special.
Gary?
Hi, Dec.
Hello.
You're looking very positive, look like you're buzzing. Obviously, you've experienced winning a European semi-final, winning a European final. Can you sense you're going to do similar this time?
Yeah, I think you need to have full belief. We certainly have that as a group. The manager certainly drills that into us every single day. I think if we're the best versions of ourselves tomorrow night, and we know we can be that, you know, there's no stopping us getting into that final. You know, we really need to be positive. You can't come into a semi-final away at Paris and not have that belief and, you know, courage that you're going to come here and win the game. So, yeah, we're ready and we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a really special night to be a part of.
Talking there about looking forward, and of course we're looking forward, but just look back quickly. I've watched both of your free kicks in the first leg against Real Madrid about 100 times. How often have you watched them?
Probably about the same, to be honest with you. Yeah, it was a special moment, obviously, them 2 goals. Just the fact it was back-to-back, you know, it was the first one and then the second one straight after. I'm not sure I'll probably ever do that ever again, to be honest with you. But it was a real special moment, and obviously to help the team get through, yeah, it was, to be honest with you, I'm still speechless. Like, when I look back at them, it's just incredible. So, yeah, hopefully maybe tomorrow night I can get another one. Let's see.
Jordan?
Hi, Dec. As Gary said, you played in big semi-finals for West Ham and for England. Does that sort of pressure just come as second nature to you now?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just, I've played so many games of football now. I've been obviously playing since I was 18 professionally. And tomorrow night it's just another game. You know, it's a semi-final of a Champions League, but, you know, I don't put too much pressure on myself. You know, it's us versus them, and we obviously know what we have to do to get to the final. Like you said, I've played in semi-finals before. I know it's required to get to finals, and hopefully tomorrow night as a group we can pull through and we can achieve something really, really good and make it a really special night for this club.
And one of the semi-finals that stands out, I think, for the wrong reasons, was the Frankfurt game at West Ham, and when there was an early red card and emotional. And is that kind of the opposite of what you need tomorrow night? Just calm heads and to just keep believing no matter what happens?
Yeah, 100%. I think we showed we can do it when we went to the Bernabeu the other week. There was a lot of questions on whether we could rise to that occasion. We obviously had a 3-0 lead, but there was still so much talk about them obviously coming back and playing at the Bernabeu, and we've not experienced that before. But I think as a group we handled that amazingly well. Obviously the atmosphere tomorrow night is going to be incredible as well, but we've proved that we can handle big situations. And tomorrow night's another massive step for this team, you know. We're a young team, but if we want to keep being one of the best teams and want to win stuff, we need to keep taking these massive steps. And tomorrow night's a big step to take, and we're fully driven by the fact there's a final, 90 minutes away, so we need to be ready.
Sam?
Hi, Dec. When you joined Arsenal, you spoke about adding new layers and levels to your game and becoming even better. Do you feel like those free kicks and the goals and sort of getting forward now, you've kind of proven that you've done that? And if so, how much more do you think there is still to come from you over the next 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, there's so much more to come from me, I think. I think I've been doing it for such a long time, even at West Ham. I played at a really good level. Mikel, working under him, has definitely added more layers to my game. It's been incredible. At the moment, I feel really, really confident in my game. Going into games, I feel really assured, really confident that I'm going to play well and I'm going to help the team out. And obviously for the next few years going forward, I just want to help this club, We're so close last few years to winning, obviously, Premier Leagues. We're in the semi-final now of the Champions League. The next step for us is to win trophies. And I sense that we're close, but to get over the line, you have to win that first one. And then I feel like they'll start coming in for sure. We have such a good group, but need to keep believing and being positive.
Couple more on this row. Start with Simon.
Dec, just on that new sort of attacking role, are there players you've studied or looked at in particular? I mean, England's obviously got a rich history of those sort of goal-scoring midfielders.
No, not really, to be honest with you. Obviously, I watch football naturally, so I see, obviously the likes of Lampard back in the day, how they used to move around in the box, get away from their opponents and score. But obviously playing in this 8 role under Mikel was a bit different. I'm not always in the box. It's a bit more of a box-to-box role. Having to play in pockets a little bit more, dropping deep, just depending on what the opposition do. But I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's a completely different role to what I've ever known. And yeah, I think you're starting to see the best of me and what I can do. And I'm happy that I can showcase that.
Tom?
Hi, Dec. I think in the 100 games that you've now played for Arsenal, you've become one of the key leaders in the group. You're the team's leader, Martin Ødegaard, the captain, has had, by his standards, he said himself, not his best season at Arsenal. How has he been, outside of what we've seen, still as a leader for you off the pitch as a captain, and how important is that role for him and you in the group?
Yeah, he's incredible. He's our leader, he's our captain. He trains every single day. He plays every minute of every game. He's one of the best lads I've seen away from the pitch in terms of how he lives his life. He's got the full respect to the dressing room, the way he demands, the way he drives the team, the way he speaks. You wouldn't see him as that type of character, but he really is behind the scenes. And he's been amazing for us. I wouldn't want anyone else being our captain, and I think the lads, feel the same way about that as well. Obviously, everyone has a dip in form. I've had dip in forms before. It doesn't matter because he can deliver on the biggest stage, and tomorrow night I'm sure he will. So, yeah, we're ready, and we're always with Martin because he's one of our best players.
Ed?
Hi, Declan. When you scored your 2 free kicks, Mikel mentioned that it was an example of a player taking the initiative themselves, something that couldn't be coached. Do you think that's something that's really important when you go into the game tomorrow night, that you guys act on instinct and show what you can do?
Yeah, I think the manager, he calls them magic moments. He always talks about them, someone delivering a magic moment. And I think in that game against Madrid, obviously, I was able to produce 2 free kicks, which were incredible. But tomorrow night, a semi-final, it's set up for someone else, to maybe get that magic moment. Hopefully it's me again. But you're going to need a moment of magic to win a game. And as a team, we're going to need that. So, yeah, tomorrow night, hopefully we can deliver something special.
Last couple in English. James?
Hi, Dec. Wayne Rooney suggested in his punditry during the first leg that Arsenal had a fear to win against PSG. Do you recognise that at all? I mean, it's obviously the club's first semi-final in 16 years, but is there sort of a feeling within the group that you do belong at this level?
Yeah, 100%. I think our second group game of the Champions League, we beat them 2-0, and it was the same team other than Dembele and Kvaratskhelia. Everyone else started, and we beat them. So there's no fear. Like I said, I think probably the goal inside 3 minutes probably shocked us a little bit. shot the atmosphere a little bit. But once we found a foothold in the game again, you know, and we started creating chances, like I said, the goalkeeper made some amazing saves. We fully believed that we could beat them. Obviously, it wasn't meant to be, but we've seen enough and we know enough as a team that tomorrow night we can do something really, really good. And we definitely believe that we belong at this level.
I'm sure you know the fans sing "We got him half price" about you now. I mean, but there was a lot of talk about the price tag when you came in. You must be very proud about how that conversation just completely changed now.
Yeah, for sure. I think that it's just my job at the end of the day. I don't take too much notice about price tags and what I got bought for. Obviously, I can't control that. It's just me playing football, and I suppose it was the price West Ham wanted. But yeah, I think I knew when I come to this club that I could be consistent, I could be available to play games. Obviously, I've reached 100 the other day already in 2 seasons, and yeah, I just want to keep doing the best for this team. And like I said, I'm sure I will. And we've got such a good group, such a good manager. So now's the time to deliver.
Isam?
Hi, Dak. At Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, of course, with the deficit, there was this big thing of the remontada and all the noise around that. How did you guys kind of cope from that? And is there anything you've learned from that which you could maybe bring to the second leg here?
Yeah, obviously there was so much talk about them coming back. A lot of their players were saying straight from after the game that they were thinking about next week, and obviously knowing that a lot of us were going to the Bernabeu for the first time, we knew it was going to be a difficult night, even with a 3-0 lead, because special things had happened there in the Champions League. But like I said, we'd cope with the pressure really, really well, and we put in a really, really good performance. And I'm pretty sure tomorrow night you're going to see the same type of performance from this team, because we rise to the big occasions and we're ready to do it again.
Mikel?
Hi, Dec. Just on that, actually, there's maybe this sense that Arsenal have to throw everything into tomorrow. But there's maybe a bit of complication there, because in every game, or every knockout game PSG have played, they've kind of like they've thrown the opposition to under an onslaught for the first 30. I mean, how does that change your approach or your thinking on it?
Yeah, we're not going to change the way we play for anyone. You know, we have a way of playing, the way of how the manager wants to set up and go, and if he says that's the way we want to play, you know, we're not going to go out there and do the opposite. We're going to do exactly what he wants us to do. And I think tomorrow night, no way we're just going to go out there and sit back. You know, we're here to win the game. We're here to make a statement. And like I said, we want to get to the final. So we need to be ready to go and do that.
Last one in English, Jordan.
Hi, Dick. Just on that point, 2 years ago when you first joined, I think after your first few sessions, you said it was almost like you were relearning football.
Yeah.
All the things that go into these games, there's so many details, press and passing.
Yeah.
Do you now feel 2 years on that if the game has to change like it did in the first half, you can take that initiative on the pitch and work it out now?
Yeah, definitely. I think, obviously, with their manager, Luis Enrique, he's really good tactically. Obviously, our manager's really good tactically. And you felt that in the first leg, you know, there was a lot of movement. The midfield, you know, they run around so much and create a lot of space for each other. The way they moved between the lines was really, really smart. But once we worked out, you know, how we could, you know, beat them, obviously we missed a few chances, but in terms of how we was driving with the ball, giving our wingers 1v1 opportunities, chances started to open up. And I think tomorrow night, you know, we need to do the same. You know, we need to have big balls, and we need to go out there on the biggest stage and show that we're ready to play at this level.
And last one in French.
Bonjour Declan, in French, please.
Just one.
Yeah.
Hi, Declan.
Hello.
Hello. Demain, Thomas Partey sera de
Tomorrow,
retour. Il a
Thomas
manqué le match
Partey
aller,
will
il
be
était
back. He
suspendu.
was not
Qu'est-ce qu'il
there
peut apporter,
in the
notamment
first
dans la
leg.
bataille du
What
milieu
can
de
he
terrain
bring,
face au
especially
profil des
in
joueurs
midfield,
assez techniques
if you
et qui bougent
compare
beaucoup, comme vous l'avez
to
dit,
the
les
very
joueurs du Paris
technical
Saint-Germain?
midfield
Merci.
of PSG that move a lot?
Yeah, total calmness. I think playing with Thomas, I've realised that that's one of the best things about him is on the pitch, how calm he is with a football and the calmness he brings to the team. It's really special to play with a player like him. And before I come to Arsenal, there was so much talk about Thomas and how good he is. And not always he gets the recognition he deserves, but playing with him close and training with him every day, for sure, he allows me to be a better player because of the way he plays. And yeah, tomorrow night we're going to need a big performance from him and myself, but also the full 11 that are out there, because it's going to be the biggest night of in this club's history if we can get to the final. So we're fully ready to go.
Perfect. We'll end it there. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
evening, everyone. Hope everyone's well. If you have a question, raise your hand. I believe we've got microphones here, so we'll come to you. If we're all ready at the back, we shall kick off. I look down here and I will go to John Cross from... No, yeah, we'll go to John Cross from the Mirror. There we go.
Hi, John.
Declan Rice has just been in. To say he's positive about tomorrow night is a bit of an understatement. He's saying that basically if you do it, it's the biggest night in the club's history. You know, basically be brave, special night, special moments. I mean, do you feel that right throughout the group? There's a determination to turn this around, and you know, when you see them in training, just how strong is that belief that they can do it in the confidence?
Huge enthusiasm, huge energy. We are a win away from being the Champions League semi-final. We're in the most beautiful cities in the world against a great opponent. It doesn't get much better than that. We are here to make history. We have a big opportunity tomorrow. We bring a result that gives us so much clarity about what we have to do. A lot of learnings from the first leg as well, and how small the margins are between the two teams. The result, in my opinion, should have been very different to that one. So tomorrow, another opportunity to prove that and earn the right to be in the final.
Okay, we'll go to Alex from the BBC.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
You just said there you're here to make history and take this team to the Champions League final, but does it feel like it is your biggest game as Arsenal manager?
Yeah, one of the most beautiful for sure. I mean, again, one win away from being in the final. We cannot ask for anything else. Is now, let's not do the talking. Let's do it tomorrow on that pitch at 9 p.m. when the game starts. Show our best version and win the game.
Okay, John, Radio 5.
Mikel.
Hi.
However, as you'll well be aware, history is against you. So what is it going to take to turn this round?
Again, a lot of the things that we did in the first game, better, more consistently. If we do that, the probability for success will be very, very close to us. We are more than capable. We've done it in Europe against a lot of odds. Probably nobody would say that we'll be in this position, so that was against history as well. So let's make our own history.
Gary from Sky Sports.
Mikel.
Hi.
Luis Enrique, on Thursday, will be 55 years old. So he's looking forward to an extra special present this year with his team making the Champions League final. How determined are you? I know he's an old colleague of yours, but how determined are you to spoil his birthday?
Well, being better than them. We're going to have to show that tomorrow. We know what we can do. We show it in the first leg as well in many moments, apart from the first 15 minutes when we have some difficulties and understanding why. And tomorrow, as I said, full clarity, what we have to do, how we have to do it, and how much we have to embrace and enjoy this moment to get the best out of ourselves.
Jordan, Athletic.
Hi, Mikel. Declan was just in talking about the magic moments that you always ask for your players in these big games. I think after last year against Bayern Munich, you said that they just hadn't come. But do you feel after the Bernabeu performance that you've got players now, individuals now, that feel they belong at this level and have got the ability and the belief to go and make that difference?
100%. I think that's how you have to embrace and take the game, you know, to make something special. We said to be in the final of the Champions League, you have to do something exceptional throughout the tournament. We've done a lot of great things, but tomorrow in Paris against this team is the moment to do it. And we want to elevate the level of this team and start to make history. That's the opportunity we have ahead of us to do it.
Miguel, Independent.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
In big second legs in the Champions League, especially in this stadium before, sometimes they can feel like they go out of control or they can be chaotic. Is that what you'd want to provoke or would prefer, or how would you see it?
Depends. I think it would be different moments, like you had the first leg. Obviously, the result brings a lot of clarity. What both teams have to do for us is even clearer. So that's it. And there are players on that team, they have experienced that in many situations. So I was looking at the amount of time that they play ties and how many times they have tried, you know. So we are here, it's our opportunity, and we're going to make it happen.
Yes, and Daily Mail.
Hi, Mikel. Away from home in Europe this season, you've put together quite a string of results, like the 7 goals against PSV, 5 against Sporting Lisbon, and of course the victory at the Bernabeu. What does that give you going into this game, obviously away from home again, that you can bring into, hopefully, obviously overturning the deficit in the second leg?
Again, conviction that when we had to do it, we did it in a really convincing way against very difficult opponents. So, again, the last one is very recent, is Madrid against all the odds, because obviously they were talking about all the comebacks and the history and what they did, and we proved something very different to what they expected, and tomorrow we want to do the same.
Phil PA.
Hi, Mikel. Dec was saying earlier that Arsenal are very close to winning trophies, but do you feel under pressure to get it done this season? Because there'll be some that will say that if Arsenal don't win a trophy this year, it's
we're
been
going
a
to
bit of a
try to
failure.
do this season. Winning trophies as well is about being in the right moment, in the right place. Liverpool has won the title with less points than we have in the last 2 seasons. With the points of the last 2 seasons, we have 2 Premier Leagues. So you have to be in the right moment, in the right place, you know. Hopefully here we are in the right moment, in the right place in Paris tomorrow to earn the right to win that final.
Simon, Evening Standard.
Mikel, when Arsenal fans think of Paris and the Champions League, they often think about 2006 and the painful memories of that final. So the fact you're back in the same city, you know, add to the opportunity for you to kind of try and ease some of those painful memories and make some new ones?
Yeah, football gives you another opportunity and it brings you to places that are so related sometimes. So it's a beautiful story. So let's make it our own tomorrow.
Just quickly on Yurin, obviously trained today. Is he okay to start tomorrow night?
I will assess him today whether he can start the game or not.
Tom, Football London.
Hi, Mikel. We saw Ricardo Calafiori also in training this morning. How much of a boost it is that he can be in and around the squad? I think he's travelled with the group as well.
Yeah, he's travelled and he's fit and he's ready to play when we need him. So that's great news, obviously.
Guys, we're not going to be able to get around everyone, so we'll go quickly through. Sam from The Telegraph.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
We know the sort of reaction that Deck got for his 2 free kicks, and obviously in the past you think about Thierry Henry in the San Siro and these moments when players can become heroes and sort of icons of Arsenal's history. Is that part of the message tomorrow, that someone needs to go out there and be the hero and make it their night?
It has to be in football. You're going to get remembered for those moments, bigger stages, when the team needs it, when the club needs it to deliver those moments. And I'm playing with that mindset. This kind of game is, in my opinion, the right one, and that's the warfare that we've done in the last few hours.
Okay, we'll do last 2 from the UK media. Firstly, Jordan from The Sun.
Hi, Mikel. Just on the referee tomorrow night, he has quite a controversial past, but he has also a big reputation for being in the spotlight during these big games. Just how much have you analysed how he refs games and how do you prepare your players for coming up against a referee in such a big night?
Yeah, we always get a report, obviously, and understanding who is going to be and how he likes to manage the game, to try to understand him and to try to help him in that sense and make sure the players are very much aware of that, and that work is done.
Okay, Nick Callow from Haters.
Hi, Mikel. It's quite a few years since you played here for Paris Saint-Germain. I'm just wondering if there's anything from then that you can tell your players what to expect and prepare for.
A beautiful atmosphere. I mean, this is a massive club with a huge history, one city, one team, basically. And yeah, I was very lucky to have 18 months here where I really enjoyed it and I had fascinating memories about it. And it's great to be back here.
Okay, we'll do one here from TNT Mexico, I believe, and then one in French down here.
Hi, Mikel. Obviously, it's the type of game that no one needs an extra layer of motivation. But how can you use the dream of achieving the Champions League final if you have already?
Well, I think it's within us. I think, as you said, we don't need anything else. You know, now we need to use it to channel that energy, that emotion, that willingness that we all have inside ourselves to deliver and perform at the best possible level, at the highest level of each of us has tomorrow, to deliver the result that we need to be in the final.
Hello, Frank Dzieniecki, TVP Sport from Poland. I wanted to ask about Jakub Kiwior. In what aspects has he made the biggest progress in recent weeks? And will we see him in the first lineup paired with William Saliba as we expected?
Well, again, he deserves a lot of credit because he hasn't played too much throughout many months, and suddenly he's been thrown into the most difficult context at the highest level, playing against the best opponents when you haven't have the physical rhythm or the confidence to do it. And I think he's been exceptional.
Okay, and finally, just one here.
De este lado, Mikel, Juanjo Rueda para Caliente TV México. Una eliminatoria que pintaba muy pareja en el papel. No sé si esta semana has notado que ha habido mucho halago hacia el Paris Saint-Germain y si se ha sido un poco injusto con tu equipo y a la vez preguntarte si esto te molesta.
No lo sé, está siempre relacionado con el resultado. Yo te digo lo que he visto y después de ver el partido varias veces, creo que el resultado no refleja lo que pasó en el campo para nada. Lo que pasó en los primeros 15 minutos y lo que pasó después fue muy diferente, pero al final el resultado es el que manda en las sensaciones y ya está. Mañana hacerlo mejor, ganar y entonces todo será seguro, muchos halagos.
Okay, guys, that's us. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Merci.